Hi, it's Greg Schnell, and I'm here with your Daily 5. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about why I think this stock is going to head up. I'm doing a lot of stuff around the electric vehicle move, and you might have heard that GM announced the new Hummer. So lots of things changing, not just cars, but lots of big trucks and stuff. The move into the industrial metals to get all of this electrical power generation for vehicles is a huge thing, and one of the side themes of that is companies that produce copper, but nickel, cobalt, other rare metals. So this company is HudBay Minerals, and you can see recently since the COVID crisis, the stock has been outperforming the S&P 500, but it's really just rallied up here from a buck 50 to 450, so that's 200%. But it's just breaking through resistance now, and it's having a good week this week. Already up 11%, but I really do think the stock has lots of room to run. So if you get any kind of a pullback, that's probably a nice place to enter. Again, this purple area is the relative strength compared to the S&P 500. When it's trending higher, the stock is outperforming the S&P 500, and when it's trending down, the stock is underperforming. And the reason you want to know that is you just go by the S&P 500 instead of have a losing stock compared to that. And then the second component here is the full stochastic. And what the full stochastic tells you is where the price is in the recent trading range. So here it's at the bottom, it's in the lower part of the last 14 weeks. And then as price starts to work its way out, it goes up. And now it's in the higher part, or up around the 80% level of the last 14 weeks, and it just keeps tracking higher. So normally one of the things we can notice is that in big bull markets it'll stay above the 50, and then when it goes into a bear cycle it'll sit down below the 50 level. So that on a weekly chart, that's a good thing to just kind of be aware of. I do like the price action breaking this big 2-year support and resistance level at 450. Again, a lot of these miners I think are going to do very well over the next few years. Volume's been solid, roughly 1 million a day, and so that's okay. And the PPO is up nice and high, and it can stay up here for a while. And I think we're just starting to see the trend kind of roll out as industrial metals like Freeport-McMoRan for a copper company start to take off. Caterpillar for mining is starting to move. So this big picture, I think, is starting to twist. And I didn't put them all in the same theme, so I've got some other ideas for you here as well. Looking at DraftKings, this slide is from August the 17th, and I had posted DraftKings pretty much right on the $35 level. And we're going to check the next chart, but basically DraftKings broke up and it's now pulled back and it's almost back to where it started. So there was a nice 80% run in DraftKings from there. Whoops. So we talked about it right in here, starting to break out about this. In this case, I've got it at 37.50 was the line, and we were just below it. So it started to run up and then worked its way all the way up to $64. Nice big run. And now it's had a pretty clear pullback. It has broken the uptrend, but it hasn't really broken this horizontal support and resistance layer. So I do like it from that perspective, just coming down here gently touching. I don't think I expect it to get all the way down to the 200-day moving average, but I like this a lot more. A pullback here and then another start higher. You can see compared to the S&P 500, it's got an uptrend in relative strength, and we'd like to see that keep going. So this chart was a daily. The previous chart was a weekly. The reason I want to show it on the daily is just to help highlight the breakout and the pullback. And I think there's another opportunity to buy it here, pretty much where I suggested it before when it had a nice move higher. Canopy Growth Corporation, what we see on this one, so these names really, all of the marijuana names have started to rally. Some of the reason for that is if the Biden camp was supposed to get in, Kamala mentioned in the VP debate that they would probably legalize marijuana. So at a federal level. And so if that was going to happen, that would help some of these cannabis companies. So they've started to rally in the last couple of weeks here and popped up. So this was the week of the VP debate. And now the stock is starting to, I'll call it consolidate and break out. It's up 10% this week, but you can see it's just back to resistance here. These stocks all topped out when the Canadian market actually made its marijuana date finalized. So it was called Weed Wednesday, October the 18th, 2018, and everything rallied up to that point and then failed. And what we're looking for now is this base has been built, and if these things could start to run up again. Canopy Growth is one of the bigger names in the space, so it makes sense to at least look there. I think you could find some other ideas in the marijuana space too if you're interested, but this was one of the ones that's starting to break out to new. Well, this is the highest high since February, so it looks pretty good here on a chart. And you can see this was a gap up and then it dropped right away. I like this right in here, and I'd want it to hold the 1750 lows. Stitch Fix is a really interesting one. So this stock IPO'd a couple of years back. And when it IPO'd, it had, lots of press coverage and all that kind of thing. Ran up immediately, did the typical IPO thing, so came out at $14, went to $52, fell all the way back. And now it's basically building this giant base. And I like the fact that it's just starting to break out here. A lot of people can order from home, so there's a lot of good information there. But I do like the way the chart is starting to behave, and the opportunity to find something like that. Again, with COVID kind of resettling in here, I think we're going to find more people are ordering things from home, and that could be a big improvement. In terms of relative strength, it's at new 52-week highs in relative strength. That's a good thing to note. Another good way to start just looking for stocks is find things that are hitting new ones, and this one's just starting to break out now. Full Stochastic is up in the top of the range. You can see how it held 50 in here, so it looks pretty good. PPO is nice and high, and it's at its highest level basically since the IPO surge and pullback. So that probably suggests we're just starting to enter a new trend. And my last stock today is Netgear, and the reason I've put Netgear on here is that the stock hasn't done a whole bunch recently, but what I do like, right in here, it's consolidated nicely, and the price action this week, while the indexes are falling, this stock is breaking out to the upside. I do like the uptrend, and it's got another position here where the PPO is nice and high and sitting above 2-year highs. Looks very, very strong. All my other clues are good too. Full Stochastic back above 80%, so that's nice. Relative strength climbing. And the scooter ranking is breaking out above 80, so that's really a good strong spot to be in. So if you'd like to know anything more about the Schnell Strength Index, it's currently pushed up nice and high here. If you're interested, go over to the website gregschnell.com, and if you see things you like, don't forget to sign up. There's a free newsletter for electric vehicles, and I'll be putting out one of those right away here. If you wanted to use a coupon code of DAILY5, my regular membership is $860, and you could get it for $497 with the coupon code DAILY5. So I'd encourage you to do that, and hopefully you find something there that you like. Lastly, thanks for watching. The market's a little bit tricky here. We're waiting to kind of see how the election pans out, but I do think that some of these charts that I've shown today are setting up and trying to break out to the top side. I want to be focused on what's starting to work now, and I want to not post-COVID world, but as we start to live with COVID all the time and return to normal, I think some of the stocks I tried to identify there should be able to help us in that space. But more importantly, let's stay focused on what continues to work. And I think a lot of the names that have run up really hard off the lows might not be the winners in the next round here as things start to broaden out. So with that, thanks everybody. Have a good week and good investing. Bye-bye.
Hey, Grayson Rose here with StockCharts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, consider giving it a like down below, maybe leave us a comment, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe at the link up above. We're gonna bring you daily content from an incredible collection of technical analysts and financial experts.